78% of suicide rates worldwide are men. What can we do to help them? Don't say man up, it's fucking stupid. Men are not emotionless machines. Ask how we are feeling without judgment. Men are dicks to one another and taught to hide our feelings from an early age. Fuck that, I want my homie to just send a text asking if I'm good and what I have going on. Fuck 'em, especially the nerdy geeks. Start by not judging their dicks. Give Louis C.K. back. Try and tell them it's okay to feel and express emotions. So many men are told it's not manly to express emotions and it's wrong and can lead to unseen problems. Legalize prostitution. From what I've heard, I personally think the world should just stop with that assumption that males can't show their feelings, or supposed to have mental health problems too. To me, males are allowed to feel weak. They shouldn't have to be stuck in that shell that the world expects them to live in and live as. They are allowed to have emotions too. They are allowed to go seek out therapy from a therapist. 1. Listen to us. Don't tell us to man up. 2. Ask us what we need. Don't assume what is best for us. Whatever we tell you, please do it. 3. Make us feel that we can come to you with problems without feeling like a burden. Sex change. Ladies, do the world a favor and fuck someone uglier than you. Doug Stanhope. Actually address men's issues instead of changing the topic to women. When I talk about my depression and suicide attempts, I'm just called an incel and get told women have it worse. Like WTF, I never said men have it worse, as I feel like it's the grass is greener on the other side ordeal. Instead of ignoring men's issues in the name of feminism, actually look into shit that men talk about. It's absolutely fucked how whenever homeless men, unfair divorce courts, courts against men, and the overwhelming lack of resources going towards the only rising rate of man suicide is talked about, the topic immediately changes to how men need to be more like women. Think about the women, or it's the patriarchy's fault, and I'm a misogynist pause for even mentioning the fact that men have problems too. The best place to start is to admit that there is a problem among men and that feminism is not the solution. The solution is among other men. It's an interesting phenomenon that is apparent to me, how the current state of men's mental health outreach is focused on women's solutions and not men's solutions. I actually think about this a lot. Sad truth is, semi-educated, middle-aged, primary wage earner, husbands and fathers to children, rarely get any support or encouragement from anyone. We just keep going. Doing what has to be done, for little or no reward. In fact, television, media and the movies make the average American male look like a bumbling idiot. But in the vast majority of cases this just isn't true. We're hard workers. We love our families, and would give up our lives to see them safe, secure and happy. We don't intentionally break the law, we pay our bills, and we follow the rules. And what do we get for it? We pretty much get shit on day in, and day out, by everyone. I'm not surprised nearly 80% of suicides globally are men. It's awfully hard to hang on in this world. I don't think any physiological factors will be brought up, namely, the fact that many endocrine disruptors in our society mimic estrogen, and obesity, which has gone up, leads to increased levels of estrogen in the body. The result is that testosterone levels in men have gone down over this same period. Ask any low-T guy how he felt before and after getting his first shot of TRT. You'll understand why suicide rates are so high for men. End of the ideology that men have to suck it up and deal with it as opposed to seeking the help they need. Make guns harder to get. Physical, hugs and stuff, and mental support. All these girls are so here giving each other hugs and shit when they're sad, but then when our guys is suicidal it's damn that sucks, let's make suicide jokes. Have people talk or bring others into a social circle. Talk. Maybe stop the spread of the all men are toxic mindset and others that are similar. You know, the ones you see all over on social media. Stop raising little boys to mask their feelings and be a man. Everyone deserves to have feelings and emotions, and it's an important aspect of growing up learning how to manage those feelings in a positive way. Help men have a conversation about their feelings. Like if someone was to pour their emotions out and talk to me, I would definitely talk and say what I thought was right, but there's no way I could offer the best advice without knowing how to talk about these subjects. Feminist solutions to male problems should be treated with a grain of salt because they're always women-centric and come from a woman's perspective. There are a lot of feminist women out there who are very convinced that the average guy secretly, desperately needs to cuddle up with their bestie on the couch with their cats and some bottles of wine and cry while watching Disney movies. I honestly think that his men just need some love. A hug every once in a while is always a pleasant surprise. My brother killed himself because his wife was threatening he would never see his kids again, and my cousin did the same thing. Don't hold kids away from dad's crying face, because now they don't have their biological dad at all, and I lost my brother and cousin. Don't shame them and tell them to not be a pussy. When I was depressed I thought my family would be there for me, but all they did was yell at me and tell me how ashamed they were of me as I slipped further and further into alcoholism and couldn't find work. Either we need to convince more women to kill themselves to balance it out, or we need to add a serious tag. Spreading a message that seeking help is okay and better for yourself and everyone around you. Stop manipulating them. Adulting is really hard when you suffer with various mental illnesses. Bill Burr and Chris Rock have excellent dialogues about this. Be there for them no matter what. Stop constantly treating men like criminals, allow them to be emotionally expressive, stop acting like women are still victims to any oppression, etc. The world doesn't favor men and acts like women are still victims of oppression. Let men know that it's okay to show their feelings, and that it's okay to ask for help. Check out on your friends and family. It sounds stupid, but it is really necessary. Provide them with interests, hobbies, things that might later on be a reason to live. Whenever you see a person trying to put people away from their life, that's when you have to try the hardest to help them. Just be there for your people when they need you. Don't be afraid to verbally and factually show affection to your male friends and relatives. You can start with that. I think most men commit suicide either by being a failure of some sort or because of a woman. Give them free helpful resources like they do with women and offer counseling. Seriously, men have the shit end of the stick. Not saying women don't have it rough. I don't know, it depends. Lots of bad stuff going on out there. Stop blaming the world's problems on men, for starters. For me, I think redefining what it means to be a man. From the day we are born, we're constantly shown by the media and taught by our fathers what it is to be a man. Not asking for help, toughing it out, not showing your emotions, never letting go of your pride, all hallmarks of previous generations' ideas of manhood. None of that shit has been helpful to me. Quite frankly, trying to live up to that has made me a mess. For a long time I felt shame when I would cry or when I reached out to anyone for help. I tried to tough it out, but I was left with anxiety, addiction, and depression. Thankfully, when times got hard enough for me, I found the strength to ask for help. I was able to get into treatment for my addiction, and therapy for everything else. I was lucky enough to figure out all the stuff I had learned about being a man was a bunch of bullshit. The only person's standards I have to live up to are my own. I am enough. For anybody out there struggling, I love you and you are enough. Destigmatize mental health care and make it affordable. Reaching out to trained mental health providers can make a world of difference, but it's too often viewed and portrayed as a weakness. There's obviously a lot of other issues intertwined with this, but if men, and people in general, had better access to mental health support and didn't view it as something negative / weren't negatively perceived for seeking out help, the world would be such a better place. Let them talk about their feelings. Lots of the suicides are because they aren't able to talk to anyone. Stop putting this feminist bullshit on us. Stop calling every single man a piece of shit and condemn all men for the actions of a few. If you want to reduce suicide, young women need to change their bullshit. Women treat men like absolute ass. They make us fight each other for their attention. My sub 6 feet 0 inches brothers are already at a disadvantage. Then when it comes to family court, men don't stand a goddamn chance. Stop acting like men are never discriminated at all based on gender. Whether or not women are discriminated a lot more, that doesn't mean that men don't have their own problems exclusive to them.